It's been a labour of real passion to maintain the heritage nature of the building, but at the same time, the modern amenities that we've built are reflecting the history of Port Adelaide.
Of course, the hotel unfortunately lost its licence somewhere down the track in the unfortunate distant past.
It's a bit of fun there, really. We have Katrina's father, who is a Methodist minister, and he quivers from time to time when I tell the story. But in 1909, the Reverend Kirby, a Methodist temperance crusader, led a petition in Port Adelaide to de-licence all 45 hotels. Now, he wasn't quite successful, but what did occur is they held a local option poll and 15 hotels did lose their licence. No compensation, the doors were shut, that was it, everybody lost their jobs. Now, of course, we came along with a pretty bad sense of humour a few years later, looking for a name for our highest alcohol concentration beer, and we called it Old Preacher.
Well, Katrina, what does your father think about you getting involved in the business then?
He was a little bit horrified to start with, but now that he's actually seen the business and seen it develop over the years, he's quite proud, I think. He often comes down with visitors from interstate and overseas and has lunch at the hotel. We even get him to come along Christmas lunch, so...
So he's warm to the business.
He has warmed to the idea.
Well, tell us about, there are already two sides of the business. There's the brewery and also the hotel facilities. So does one help the other? Is that the way the business develops?
Yes, absolutely. When we originally took over the hotel, it was bankrupt. I remember seeing the last week's trading figures, and they'd done $2,900 for the entire week. So we were at the lowest point possible. There was only one way we had to go, but lots of ways to get there. Now, the brewery and the food together has been instrumental in raising not just our profile, but the value of an experience of coming to the Port Dock. When people arrive, they're surrounded by maritime memorabilia, they're surrounded by history, they have the ability to tour the cellars, the tap rooms, and then go through the brewery, and we always finish that up with a complimentary tasting of our beers. Now, if you think, where can you go and really get a free beer? I think it's us.
Now, there are many challenges to running a hotel. Compliance issues are pretty big, I imagine. And Katrina, you're a lawyer. That's where you get involved in a lot of the time.
Yes, we have dozens of licences. We have audits all the time. There's one occasion I think John got audited by the ATO and a few other individuals all on the one day. They sort of arrived en masse without any warning. So there's a lot of paperwork to be done there. I've prepared our employee application form. We need to know details about our employees, about their health, about their past training. Just monitor the matter generally.
I gather you serve something like 2,000 meals a week, which makes it a very busy kitchen. So how do you keep on top of that, John?
It's the organisation. You really need to look at what you can do, and you can't ask your people to do too much. Now, for example, we've used technology to make life easy. In the old days, you would have somebody who would write down the order and they would take it to the kitchen, and hopefully their writing was good enough for the kitchen to decipher. But we don't do that. We have a computer menu system, and what that means is that all the options are contained within the computer, so the order is never wrong. We use things like a pre-order sheet. For example, if we have a bus tour arrive, there's going to be 44 hungry people, but they can phone ahead, fax, email, whichever they want, exactly what they want, and we will feed it into the computers. And if they say they want it at 12:15, it will be on the table at 12:15 for them. Also, the method that we take bookings, when you get a premium day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas Day, you're going to be filled to capacity. Now, if you let them choose the exact time they want to come, you're going to have a disaster. You'll have 250 people at 12 o'clock, nobody at 1 o'clock. So what we do is give them an option of 12 o'clock, 1:30, 2:30, and we don't try to accept bookings in between. That gives us the ability to turn the table over and to increase the number of people that we can adequately service.
Well, they often say a good measure of a good, successful business is happy staff. So, do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
And how do you keep your staff happy?
Pretty straightforward, really. Respect them. Listen to what they say. Never discourage your staff from giving you input, because every now and again they're going to come up with a real gem, and if you're not listening or you've discouraged them, it's not going to be good. Reward them. Pay them well. Pay them above the award. Give them incentives.
What do you think's worked best to build the name of your business in terms of, do you have marketing strategies that go across the board, or does one thing seem to work best for you?
I would say if I had to pick one thing, it would be community involvement. We do everything we can to be involved in our area's burgeoning tourism. We actively work with events and marketing people. Port Adelaide is going through a $10 billion redevelopment. And what that means is that we have a large number of interest groups. We have the Port Centre Coordination Group, who are continuing to develop the area through event participation and marketing. Now, we work very closely with them. We recently organised with our council the Australian National Drag Racing Association Family Day out the front of our hotel. To give you an idea of what happens when you get people working together, we had 10,000 people attend that day. Now, that was just one example of what you can do if you get your marketing right and you work with everybody else.
What about getting your time management in order?